What's up guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to the garage. We are back here once again doing another project. So today we're going to be working again on the Hyundai Accent. If you guys haven't already seen the videos prior, we've been doing a whole bunch to this guy. We've done the oil changes, air filters, spark plugs, and we're going to continue with that tonight. Next up, we are going to be working on the coolant system. We're going to be doing a flush or a semi-flush of this coolant system to get it up to par. It has currently 94,000 miles on it, so I think it's definitely time. Whether or not it says on the maintenance guide, I'm still going to go ahead and do it. Just get everything done all at once, like I've said before. So as we go through this video, I will give you a list of all the tools that I'll be using, just to show you just a few of them. I have a siphon pump here. I got this here I purchased off of Amazon. It's pretty cool. I'll show you what that is when we get to that. I got some pressed stone concentrate. I wanted to have extra because this guy only takes 4.7 quarts. This will make 2 gallons worth because you'll mix it 50-50, or I'll choose to mix it 50-50. Down here got a bunch of distilled water. We actually have 3 gallons of distilled water in one empty container here. I'm gonna use that container to make my 50-50 mix. Next up, of course, I got my little drain pans here. These are clean ones. This is the one I've always used for coolant exclusively, so that guy's gonna be good to go. Got the little lines on it, if you can see there. I just want to see how much I'm getting drained out with each flush to make sure I can get as much of it as I possibly can. In addition to that stuff over there, we're going to be needing to take off a couple of panels just to make it a little bit easier. You don't necessarily have to. You can put it up on a jack or jack stands or lift it up by whatever means you have. But I want to keep it at ground level. And since it's going to be at ground level, it's going to be nearly impossible for me to get underneath there. So I want to do the work from the top. So we're actually going to be removing this little panel here and probably the top of the air box, just to get a little bit better access to the little petcock or the drain plug, which is down there at the bottom of the radiator. And yeah, I think that's all we need to be taken apart, and I'll show you what tools we need for that. Alright guys, so like I said, we're going to go ahead and take this little panel off to gain some more access or more capability of reaching down to that petcock. So there's going to be a total of 4 10mm bolts here, as well as a total of 2 Phillips screwdriver pins, and you'll simply just remove those. I'll show you here in a second. But yeah, we'll take these off. Alright, in addition to those 4 bolts, as well as those 2 screws, there's these 2 little push pins here. You just simply push down on them, and it'll pop out the little clip. I just used the Phillips head on the screwdriver, and that did that. Pull up on this here, and that should be that. And boom, as you can see, there you go, that's that. Go ahead and take off your diversion panel. Next up, I'm going to go ahead and take off the top of the air box so I don't have to worry about that as well. There's a Phillips screw here that you'll take off the hose itself, and of course just these little clips which you unplug, and that's how you'll take off the top. So I'll do that now. Took off the hose. I'm putting just a plastic bag over the hose just to help me prevent from dropping anything inside of the intake. Go ahead and pull up on this. That comes right off. Set that aside, as well as I'll set the air filter aside, just so I don't have to worry about that either. And for the bottom portion of the air intake, there's 3 10mm screws, one over here, one a little bit further down, and one a little bit further down. And you can simply take those off once again with your screwdriver. Actually had to grab a 6/8 extension so I can reach down there a little bit further. To give you guys an up close look of where I removed those screws from, there's one here, one there, and the last one right there. And that'll allow you to take this whole thing up and out. Another thing you'll have to do once you get that top air diversion panel off is take out the front splash guard, which is down at the bottom. It has 5 of these little 10mm screws, 1 2 3 4 5 over there. And yeah, you set that aside. What you're going to want to do is there's one more panel that's just a little bit further back. Hopefully you can kind of see it. It's kind of hard from that angle. I'll kick it. But as you can see, that one that's moving down there, you don't have to take it all the way off. You just take off the first 2 screws, which are also 10mm. The one in the middle and the one that's a little bit further towards the driver's side. Then you can actually just push it out the way. Just so when you unscrew that little petcock down there, you don't have to worry about it getting onto that panel and spreading it everywhere else. It'll just go straight down. Alright, and now I went ahead and put my drain pin underneath the bottom, and simply you're going to remove that little petcock. Remember, righty tighty, lefty loosey, and that's pretty much all you're going to do. And as you can see there, it's starting to come out. And one thing you can do is actually open up the top of the radiator cap, and it should come out quicker because you'll allow air to vent through the system. Just like that. Well, that continues to drain out down there. I'm actually going to use this little siphon hand pump that I bought from AutoZone, and I'm going to siphon out the last bit of coolant that's still down here in the reservoir tank.
A few minutes later.
Alright, now that we got that drained out, you'll go ahead and tighten back up the drain plug or the petcock, and we're going to get ready to put some water in it. So now that we got it drained and I have it in the bucket here, we can actually use little markers on this guy to see just how much we've drained out. And I don't think you guys can really tell from the camera, but we got pretty much exactly 4 quarts, which is almost all of it. This thing takes 4.7 quarts. So yeah, that's actually quite a bit that we got out. So guys, to put the distilled water in, I got this cool little tool here. It's a no spill coolant fill funnel. You can find this at really any automotive store or even online. I'll put the link below where I got it. But it has all kinds of different accessories here which will make this job of flushing your radiator extremely easy. Specifically, it's designed to use the same type of cap that your vehicle comes with. I actually pre-fitted these guys already, so this is the one we'll use today. So you simply put this little adapter in there, fits nice and snug. Then you put the cap on, which resembles the OEM cap that your vehicle comes with, and boom, just like that, it's tightened on there. You can take the funnel itself, stick it on there, and now you have a big funnel that's going to stay put, and you can fill it up from here. Even turn on the engine and warm it all the way up and let it fully burp the system of all the air. And like I said, it just makes this whole process a whole lot easier. So now that we know that we've drained out 4 quarts of coolant, that pretty much means we can flush the system with about 4 quarts of distilled water. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and pour this in. It probably won't all go at first because of the air in the system. But what I'll do is I'm going to take off this plastic bag for now, because we're going to actually turn on the vehicle and let it get up to operating temperatures so that the thermostat opens, and as well as I can turn on the heater so that the heater core opens, and then we can have everything flushing through. Then we'll drain this out, and then we'll do it again with the final fill. Go ahead and fill this up. Alright, so I'll let that bubble. Alright, so it stopped bubbling there, which means it's got most of the water back in there. So I'm going to go ahead and turn on the vehicle, turn the heater on, and I'm just going to let it warm up to its normal operating temperatures. Alright, so while you're in the vehicle, you want to go ahead and let it warm up as much as you can until the fan turns on several times, which means again that the thermostat is fully open and it's fully moving the fluid through the system. If you want, you can give it a little bit of rev just to simulate normal driving. I wouldn't say anything above 2,000 RPMs would be good. So we went ahead and got the car all the way heated up. The fan came on, I turned the heater on full blast, and it started to bubble up. That's pretty much all that's actually going to circulate. As you can see, the distilled water turned to the blue, which was the same color as the previous coolant that was in the engine. So now we're going to go ahead and drain out this. Be careful because this is hot. I'm going to go ahead and take this out. Cool thing about this, there's this little plunger in here which will block off the bottom of the funnel, and you can actually take the funnel off without having to worry about burning yourself. Holds it in there, and then you can dump that away. So now I'm going to pretty much repeat this process again. I'm going to drain out this, put another set of distilled water in there, heat it all the way up until it circulates, drain that out, and I'll see you guys back when we're ready to do the final fill. Now that we're done with that last part, we are ready for the final fill. I went ahead and pre-diluted my antifreeze earlier off camera, did a 50-50 mixture. Pretty much have a gallon here, another gallon on the other side of the vehicle, and we're ready to get going. So I'm going to go ahead and pour this in here, let it suck up as much as it can. I'll go ahead and start the engine, and then just continue to monitor it and keep topping it off until it continues and gets all the bubbles out. Alright, that's pretty much done there, so I'll go ahead and start the car and let it continue to circulate. And as you can see guys, as the engine starts to run, it starts to bubble out some of the air. So I'm going to let it continue to do this until it reaches full temperature. I'll probably rev on the gas a little bit to kind of speed up that process. And yeah, we'll let it fill up. While this is doing that, I'm going to go ahead and fill up the reservoir tank or the overflow tank. Alright, and that's that. Put the cap back on. And now that we got the reservoir tank topped off, this guy has pretty much already sucked all that it's going to suck into the engine. So I'll go ahead and give it a couple of revs here off camera, And I think that's gonna be it. Now that we're all good to go, you just loosen it up like you do anything else. It's gonna be a little warm, so don't burn yourself. And look at that, filled to the perfect level. So I actually went ahead and bought another radiator cap. So I'll go ahead and get this new one out the bag, get it installed. Of course, I gotta put everything back together, but as far as the actual coolant flush, I think we're done. Just to recap what we did, we drained out what the existing coolant was. We put in some distilled water and ran that in the engine, got it very hot, got it circulating, drained that out, put in some more distilled water once again, did a double flush with the distilled water, drained it out, and then finally finished up with the last bit of coolant that we bought from AutoZone. So we are good to go for tonight. So as always, guys, I want to say thank you for once again watching this video. Make sure you hit that subscribe button below and turn on your notifications, because we are not quite yet done with Project Hyundai Accent. We got the engine compartment cleaning and we got much more, so you don't want to miss out on any of that. So thank you once again. You're watching Everything Avon. I'm heading inside because it's already super late and I gotta go to work in the morning. So y'all have a good night.